Hello and welcome back to Zero to Hero Episode 4. We took a little bit of a break to get some Plunderstorm in, and now we're going to return to our favorite place, the Dawn of the Infinites dungeon. We return here with a entire full dungeon run. It's actually two keystones back to back, layered together just to give us a little bit of some variety. But as we all know, the mega dungeon itself is huge. It's got a lot in it. The unedited version's around 50 or so minutes, and nobody wants to sit around for that. So I put it all together. I abridged it up, made it a little shorter, got some good clips here and there, and I went through all the bosses since we're just, again, finishing these lower level dungeons. I've got more to come this following week. We're going to get some more stuff out tomorrow on Tuesday so that we can have us getting into the 15s and everywhere we need to go to get to that Keystone Hero before the end of season 3 and into season 4. So sit back, relax, enjoy some music with your boss battles, watch how we do it. Hopefully we have picked up some tips and tricks. I think we have. We're doing pretty well still with the standard build, but I do end up tweaking it near the end. And in the next coming videos, we'll go over what some of the things that I changed in the videos and what I did in order to make myself useful. So with that, here's the first boss. Everyone loves this boss just to run around and basically he's just a bullet sponge. Really, you're just throwing everything you can at him. I did my best to stand outside of everything. And, you know, sometimes you get stuck, especially when you got those nice tangling things on the ground or you don't want to dodge your balls like I almost missed there. But he is very easy, as you can see, he's going down so quick. Still just a 13. We're not quite in the 15 ranges yet. I think we're just pushing 460 gear level. But this stuff will make it a lot easier for me to get through and actually know where I need to stand, know what I need to do while I'm starting to do my channels. Usually every class that I've been playing has not had these specific channels going on, like Boy Torrent or our long casts of our Insanity Mind Spikes. But our 4-set's doing some work for us. We're sitting here topping the meters, which is great. Damage myself a little bit, but nothing I can't out-heal, especially with that healing trinket that I still got on. I haven't had to use it yet, but it's helpful when I'm hurting myself with those Shadow War deaths. And there's our first boss down. Beautiful, flawless victory. Always good to see. And right into boss 2. This one's a little harder, actually, especially for a channeling class when you're trying to finish up all that you need to learn the spec and have to choose when to throw in and all your different casts like any other caster would. We have some instant cast buttons and abilities that can get us around the map. I use Divine Star a lot more here, and it's hard for me to find times to channel, especially when you have to dodge these balls and run back and forth as I stand in all the balls and get obliterated. Wow. So definitely a class issue, not me. I didn't stand and walk into every ball back to back. But maybe somebody will res me and I can be useful again. We'll see. Anybody? Nobody. Have we got any good bracers? No warlocks want to throw a soulstone on me? Oh, lovely. Watch me take it right into the balls again. No. So one thing you need to remember here when you're a Shadow Priest is if you do get knocked down, you're going to have to throw back your Shadow form, because I was trying to cast Devouring Plague and I was not able to do so since I was not in Shadow form. So silly mistakes were made on my part, throwing me at the bottom of the damage meter. I was able to catch up a little bit and actually beat the mage even though he was out the whole entire time.
Sands of time.
And that might just be gear between the two of us. I got some good little heals off there. I was able to get back in the fight and at least do okay. So our third boss in the dungeon, not too terrible. Everyone loves the slimes. This one's pretty good for us actually, since we get 2 separate rounds on 1 and 2 where we can get our single target DPS in, and then in our final burst phase we can throw in our dots, and our Shadow Crash will do a lot better for us. The one thing that I haven't been doing, that I've noticed on myself that I need to, is instead of using my Shadow Crash when it gets that 500% increase, it's better to throw in a Vampiric Touch like I just did there, and then throw in the Empowered Shadow War Pain That's going to do a ton of upfront damage, about 200,000 or so, just for that Shadowborn Pain, and then it lets it tick a little harder too. This has been a tough week though, specifically for doing the casting. I mean, haven't been doing great high-level keys right now, so it hasn't been too terrible, especially been forgiving on some mistakes where I've been able to step out or continue my cast through some of those vines. Haven't been stunned yet, which is great, but it's still one of those extra oh crap factors where you're stuck in the middle of a cast and you really need to get that insanity out, or you have to clip the last second and lose some damage. See, now this is great where the Shadowborn Crash just landed. Helps us a lot. Mindbender is great here, especially if you get that up with our wings, but looks like I didn't cast wings, and I should have. Here we go. I finally caught up to myself in the past. There's your nice Shadow Crash to finish it off, and they're about to both go down and make this a quick and easy boss battle. Luckily, nobody ended up getting transformed. I can't imagine you would need to in there. You'll have to do a lot of juggling with the ball. But now to the end for our first dungeon. Almost finished. Pretty easy. Made life simple. Everybody should understand this fight by now. It's good to get our skills in. I've noticed, and as you can still see on screen, that I haven't been throwing in my empowered skills. I finally got one in there, and it looks like we're about to get stunned in this circle, but we can't jump out, so that's one of the problems with Tangled here. So you got to eat that one in order to stay alive and not get wiped by the boss. And now we're out because the dispersion did, which was good. Saved myself some damage and was able to keep up the extra DPS and stay alive without any additional healing from our healer. You can focus on Chromie there, and we can continue with the fight. So these tentacles are fine. They do a fair amount of damage. It kind of makes me feel bad when I look at them individually, but if you actually put them together with Void Torrent, the two of them together are better than some of the other capstones, and I'll get into that a little bit later in the series. There was a part where I tried both our Shadowy Apparition build, and I tried the Visions of N'Zoth, and I tried a combination of the two of those. And they did fine individually, maybe 4 or 5% of my DPS, and we'll get into some of that in the upcoming videos soon. But ultimately I switched back to a hybrid of this build that I'm currently running, and to finish up some of the harder fights. But this one was so easy that we blasted through it, and we were able to get through it in just one phase. Well, it was good. It was a good, easy one. Got me some extra crest stuff, upgrade everything. And I ended up getting second in damage. Our mage was actually below the tank, so that's unfortunate, but that's okay. Right into tier. Much easier. It's like I didn't even go through Group Finder, just automatically got here. I wish that's how every single pug group went. And if I haven't mentioned, all of these are pugs, so these are all just people that I got. And I've been lucky enough to get into some of these groups. I do get denied a lot. I think my average queue wait was about 5 minutes or so, which is pretty dang good, but that's just a lot of, I give it maybe 10 seconds, 30 seconds, depending on who I'm applying to, what I'm looking for, especially if I'm looking for a specific dungeon. I might leave it up there for up to a minute. Once I hit the minute mark and I haven't been accepted or declined, then I'll cancel out of that group and I'll go to a different one. That really helps me get through finding a pug group a lot faster. So here they decided to stay on top of me and almost killed me. But I did really good with my positioning and blurred my camera by standing at max range and getting it out in that wall. So here it would be a good time to do additional things like our dispersion to mitigate some of that damage. But this one's actually an 11. Our last one was a 13. It was just trying to get through everything above a 10 before we moved on. I wanted to make sure that I didn't screw everything up as I was going for the higher level keys over the course of over the series. I'd rather make mistakes here as I'm learning it so that I can be successful in the future. So I've got to collect all the balls here. Balls give you haste. Haste makes waste. Hey, that's good. I like that. Not even going to throw a poet line in there. So, you know, one thing I haven't gotten yet is that beautiful, beautiful hammer he's got. Mace, whatever, two-handed mace, whatever you want to call it, but it is awesome, and I would love to make a transmog around it, especially, I mean, I know priests can't wield it, but for those of you that do have it, I'm a little jealous. Here we gotta stack up, give ourselves some separation. As you can tell, I am way ahead of everybody else in this one. You know, it's an 11, and I was just kind of getting it through, but it seems like I'm out gearing this stuff now, and definitely going to move forward, making it more challenging and more entertaining to watch, because everything's going to be magnified. Both my skill level will need to increase, and everything... Oh, wait a minute, did I skip somebody? No, okay. I was thinking we were back in the last dungeon. Nope, now onto our battlefield. I skipped the tank, because everyone doesn't want to relive the anguish of that. But... killing this boss is going to be great. Hopefully, well, looks like he's not going to be here in Season 4, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Moving forward, it's going to be our original dungeons, like everyone's favorite Brackenhide Hollow. But I wonder if priests will actually be there in Season 4. It'd be interesting to see if they're going to still be the worst class available. Some things that I've noticed that are really hurting me as a class is my lack of crowd control utility. There's some things that I can do, like I can dominate mind, or I can shackle if I need for the incorporeals, or if I have to do something to a specific class mob. There's not much else I can do unless I really spec into it for like an extra stun for 4 seconds. I think I'm going to try and get the decreased silence cooldown, and if I can do that and make it successful without dropping off any of my extra damage abilities, I might try that, because a 30-second silence is better than a 45-second one. At least it gives an opportunity for somebody to miss the first one and then me to help retaliate and get the nice counter in there where I can be useful and actually interrupt things. Right now, 45-second silence is basically the oh no button when somebody misses it entirely or no one's going to kick an important cast, and I have some help. But other than that, I don't really have any other way to do that. I don't have an AoE stun like a Warlock would. But that was a quick fight for us. Got a little off topic there, sorry. But here we are, Morchi, the lot of eyeliner girl. She ends up being kind of my favorite between her and Chromie, to be honest with you. Kind of like the color scheme better. Her makeup's doing it.
5, 4,
Looks like we found it. If you don't know, pinging that for your allies is certainly helpful, since some people still don't know about the hats. And I remember the first time I did it, no one told me that the difference was that she had a hat on, so I screwed it up myself. But the ping system really helps. Doing better about getting my full channels in right there, because my Void Torrent was able to get all the way through and get my last ticks in and keep me up at the top of that damage meter. Now, running and gunning on this guy is not too easy, but if you can get it faster and ahead of the game with everyone and get my positioning off as soon as she starts that cast, I'm able to get there. Now here I got lucky, I was able to fear it and it walked right into a trap for me and I didn't have to worry about it, so that's stellar. But since, again, it's an 11,
5,
it's just going to be
4,
crushed real easy.
2,
Here's a good thing for your mobility as a priest. You got those nice angelic feathers. You can throw them on yourself. If not only can you click on yourself or click the feather and then walk on top of it, you can hold Alt or whatever instantly targets you, whatever you have that keybound as, and you can click the button and it'll drop it at your feet. That'll just help you run a lot faster. You don't have to worry about having to click it out in front of you if you don't want to. You could set up other things like if your tank's kiting mobs or something, you can use that as well. But old Morchi here is about to take a dive, and we'll get into our last boss and near the end of the video. Hopefully you've learned something new about the priest here. We haven't really gone through any super specifics. It's mostly just been some gameplay to keep you entertained. That's really what I'm looking for, is to keep you guys some entertainment on that second monitor, something that you can have going, you know, a boss fight with some entertaining music, and you can laugh at me dying or whatever you have to do.
3, 2, 1.
You know, yeah, it's like you just gotta take the long way around, and as you run around all those. Fun fact, you don't want to dot up the dragon because they don't carry over. So yeah, that was a waste, but that's okay. Here, instead of using that Shadowcraft, that's what I was talking about earlier, I could have used the Shadowborn Pain and done the 200,000 damage versus the 50,000 damage of the Shadowcraft, and it would have saved us some time. But here it is, Galakrond. I'm sorry, we've already taken care of Galakrond. Now we're down here at Murozond. You know, I'm never going to get their names right. Best I can, though. Wasn't too bad of a dungeon. We had a couple deaths here and there. I was definitely one of them at some point, but, you know, we'll just pretend that didn't happen. And this is a good use, actually, of Shadow Crash, because we got some extra enemies, and remember our AoE comes off of when we use our Psychic Link, so any direct damage Shadow spell, it does a smaller percentage to anyone afflicted by our Vampiric Touch. So should you miss that nice Vampiric Touch, you're going to have to go around and the Shadow Crash, you'll have to go around and dot everybody with Vampiric Touches in order to get the AoE damage that you're looking for. But with him almost dead, this is going to be the end of some of the prequels for us. So we're going to be getting into the hierarchies. We're going to have some more advanced layouts. I'm going to go down and describe what I've changed from our original build and the one that was found on WoW that I've linked in our first couple episodes. And I'm going to show you the things that I did to get a little bit better and what I needed to improve on other than what we talked about in the last couple videos. And hopefully, as we get into near Season 4, we'll have been completed. So, I think we can do it. I think we got a couple weeks left. And this is just exactly what you need in order to get through. Just that perseverance, and you can do it all in a couple weeks, especially near the end. The end of the season's actually been helpful for us. Had some people who got some nice gear helping us out, or they're a little less stringent on bringing people in, but it doesn't change the fact of the series where I still have to contribute, and if you can tell so far, I've generally been near the top or on second to top, at least in damage. So it's going to come down to utility and how we start doing our positioning later, and when we utilize a little bit more of our AoE fears or any of our shackles that we can use in order to help out with the team. I know that when we get bursting weeks, Master's Dispel is going to be amazing. It's going to be a great source of utility there. It's going to get you invited as well, but since we don't have a Lust, and we are just another regular caster DPS, sometimes you may get asked to turn into a healer, but we're not going to accept any of those invites. We're going to stay straight Shadow Priest for this, because that's what our focus is to use our worst ranked class and make it useful. I think we can do it. I know we can. And I appreciate all of you guys out here supporting me get through that. And with the last couple hits, we're gonna get him down, collect ourselves some loot, and I'll have a new video out tomorrow. I know it's been a pretty quick turnaround. I was again focused on, I've saved up a couple of episodes that I have, and I'm gonna have them ready to go for you guys so that you guys have something new to watch during your downtime on Tuesday. And, not only this, but as soon as that comes up, it's something on your second monitor or whatever you're gonna do. I appreciate you guys all coming out here and watching this stuff. And should there be anything that you guys want to tell me, or if anything that you guys liked, didn't like, something that you wish I would stop or start doing, I'd love to hear it. Throw me a comment. Let me know what you guys think of the videos. If they're a little dull and you want me to spice them up, let me know. I'd love to have that information. I want to make sure that this is entertaining for you, since ultimately you're going to be the ones watching it. So give me that feedback. Let me know, good, bad, or ugly. I want to hear it. I want to make this entertaining, and I want you guys to have a great time. So with that, I'll see you on the next one.